Things don't go our way. And my story is that in the midst of your ups and downs, you must give God thanks and give him praise and not allow the enemy to steal your song like you told me yesterday.
Yeah.
Not to rob your joy. And so we can learn to, in everything, give thanks. You will never be depressed. You will never be underneath the circumstances. You will always be in charge, larger in charge of your circumstances. And so that's my story.
Wonderful. So when you're speaking to, let's say, for instance, there's a younger version of yourselves that's out here just having back-to-back challenges in their lives and feeling as if, I'm not going to be able to make it through this. This is very difficult. This is very challenging. And they could very easily be a younger version of a Kim Welcome or a Queen Judith Blair. They are in this place of feeling like they want to give up. What would you say to them? Because I'm sure you've had to make it through moments like that for yourself, right? What was it that got you through, and what would you say to that person?
Well, we all have challenges. I think the first thing, you have to recognize and kind of resolve in yourself that life is full of challenges. That is just life. So there's no need to be knocked off course because there's a challenge. That's a part of the process and a part of the journey. And typically the more important or the bigger the dream, the bigger the challenges and the obstacles that you'll have to overcome. And anybody that we know of that's been put on a platform of greatness, when they talk about their story, they always talk about the challenges and the obstacles. And there are always times where people feel like they may not be able to get through it. But it's only when you keep pushing that you will get through it. And so that it's a part of life. Challenges are a part of life, and nobody is exempt. No one.
Very true.
So.
Very true. What would you say, Mama Judith?
Oh, I'd say it's good for you. Because that is what the Word of God says. It's good for you when you fall into diverse temptations. And I believe that anytime...
It's good for me to fall?
It's good for you. It's a good place to be.
Really?
Because when you're down, the only way you could go is up. Isn't that so?
It's true.
And the highest mountain has the lowest valleys. So if you're in a low valley right now, I want you to start to rejoice. Because your mountaintop experience is just so supernatural. You should be excited in that low place.
Right.
Thinking about where you're going to be going. Don't be concerned about where you are right now, but where you're going.
Right. I think it's interesting because we know that we hear these positive things and we go to church and we get encouraged with the word, and then we go to these motivational sessions and we hear powerful speakers like yourself. But sometimes, like in that late hour, when you're just kind of dealing with maybe some stressors that you have in your life or in your reality, and you wish there was someone that you could really talk to, or someone that could really understand what you're going through or growing through, I think it's important for us to remember just what brought us through those moments. Because if we forget, that it's difficult to be able to really speak to people in that space. Because they assume, well, we've always had it, in a beautiful way. But life hasn't been no crystal stairway for, I'm sure, any of us. But the reality is, we've got to be able to really get in that space and know what that's like. And I can remember times where I felt like, man, I wish my family would support me more. I wish my friends would really be there for me. I'm having different things that I do for them, but then when I need them, they're nowhere to be found. So I know if I've experienced that other people have experienced that. So I want you to think about right now your message, and what is it that you would like for people to understand and know about you? If they're thinking about having you to come in and speak for their organization, what would be one of the main things that you would like to come and share from your heart about?
I like to share about the joy of knowing that God has chosen you and allowed you to go through life situation. He can trust you with the heavy stuff of life. there are a lot of people in life who want a testimony, but they don't want a test.
Right.
Just last year I was shot. A gunman invaded my home and I was shot. And when I was asked, what are my reactions? I said, forgive them. And a lot of people were shocked. I said, I'm forgiving because I want to live.
Mm-hmm.
Because forgiving is bringing me in a place of healing, is bringing me in a place of power. When I forgive, I maintain my power over the circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's good for you to know that when you are in a vulnerable place, that you need to realize that is your place of greatest growth. When you think of a snake or animals that change their skin, when they're in that place of vulnerability, when they shed their skin, that's in the place of most rapid growth. So I would say to people, when you're in your place of vulnerability, know that is your place of growth and productivity, and that should excite you and compel you to get to be happy in that space while you're going through, because you're gonna